Hi and welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin. Today I am here in Center, Indiana, and I'm going to be giving you a tour of the historic and haunted Center Church. So let's go ahead and head on inside of the church real quick. And as we walk around the church and as I show you around and point out some details and stuff, I'm going to tell you some of the history of it as well. But before we get into that, I just want to point out this rope up here that would have gone to ringing the bell that I imagine was in the tower here. Quite possibly could still be up there, but obviously that is way too high up for me to reach. So this church was organized in 1881, and where the church currently stands was a schoolhouse. So for a while, they used the schoolhouse for the church. And there were two groups that were attempting to get their own church here. One was the United Brethren, and the other was a Christian group. Now, I am going to be honest, I do not know what the United Brethren is, or why it is distinctly separate from a Christian group, but the United Brethren won and organized their first class, as they called it here. Now, in 1896, they purchased the lot and a church was built. The church we are currently in, of course. Now, it doesn't say what happened to the schoolhouse, but I imagine that it was torn down. Now, the church went through several changes over the years. The United Brethren became part of, I believe it said, the Evangelical Church. And eventually this church would become a United Methodist Church, but that did not happen until the 60s. Now, its max membership was in the 170s, and max attendance, average attendance was in the 90s. But most of the time, the attendance was usually around 40 to 60 as their average attendance. And that is all of the years that it was in use. Now, something that's kind of interesting is this building that we're in right now, mainly this part right here, the chapel part, had been moved several times. So, based off the history and based off the readings of it, this building had been moved across the street, moved back, then reoriented to face a different direction, and then sometime around the 1930s and 1940s, they added the basement onto this. So even though this is the original lot, the church has moved a few times on the lot, including a few times to get it further away from the road, which is kind of understandable because this road is surprisingly busy and the cars are loud. Now, at the end of its time as a church, there were only 5 people left in the congregation, including the pastor, and it closed its doors for good on December 31st, 2017. And it's actually kind of really sad because if you go to Saving the Old Properties website for Center Church, there is a photo of a married couple who went to this church, and they took one last photo in front of the doors before it closed. And that is kind of sad. So that is a basic history of it based off what we currently know and what's currently published on the Saving the Old Properties website. So now it's my turn to tell you a little bit about it from my point of view, I guess. So this is obviously a very small church, very old, very historic. Now, cool thing here is you have 2 pianos. You have a classic piano over there, and then an electric piano / electric organ. I don't know the right term over here, and they both work. And I'm no expert, but they both seem to work correctly and don't seem to be out of tune. Now, there is heat in this building, which is amazing for an overnight ghost hunt or just being here in general in the winter. But other than that, the chapel here is pretty simple. Now, we do have these beautiful windows that let in a lot of light during the daytime, and at night they let in a lot of car headlights. Now, you may have noticed my blanket and sleeping bag here. That is because if you do come here to ghost hunt, you actually get to spend the night. So you get it until 10 a.m. in the morning, which means that you can get a full night's rest and still wake up in time to take photos around the building and stuff. Now, I also really like this historic heater here. For lack of a better word, it's either a heater or a boiler that I'm guessing was probably the original for the church, but I don't know for sure. So, I really love this upper chapel area. It's really cool. It still has, all the pews, and there's even some hymnals still left here. And it's just very, very interesting. You can tell that it's old, and, it's actually kind of interesting because if you look at certain places on the walls, you can tell where things used to be hanging, and I'm not sure why they were removed. So right here, if you can see this outline right here, there was the attendance board, I guess you could call it. And there is a picture of it where it says how many people were in attendance, how much money was donated, how many people were in attendance last week, how much money was donated last week. And then also to add to the creepy factor here, first of all, there's this abandoned trailer, which I believe is on the property, and I might go check out before I leave. But there is also the cemetery out back. Now also, there is this door right here, and you may notice there's no doorknob on it. And this door was driving me crazy, but I finally figured out where it went to. So just remember that door. Okay, so now we are going to walk back out into the main entryway. So you can see this gorgeous window up here. And then, I believe I already showed this off, but over here is just kind of a storage area they have right now. They have the letters for the signs stored in here, picture of the Last Supper, some lockers and ladders and stuff. And also the ceiling here is a bit worse for wear, but it's kind of cool because at night if you turn on the light you can see into the ceiling, which is pretty cool. And then over here is my least favorite thing about this place, and that is the basement. So, like I said, the basement was not added until the 1930s or 40s. So you can actually see, these are obviously much newer, but you can see their structures to make sure that the actual chapel is being held up. Now, down here we've got a few different areas. We have this section that can be sectioned off by these things. Right now there's some broken pews down here, but there is a chalkboard down here. So my guess is that maybe this was where Sunday school was. Now there's also these two makeshift tables here. And then we got another chalkboard over here. Now here is the modern heating system, which I am very thankful for. Then, ew, an old carton of milk. Please tell me there's nothing in there. Oh God. There's a Bible of Jesus, or a puzzle of Jesus. Then here is a drawing of the Greater Indiana Central College. Another chalkboard. Now this is a storage room that, as you can see, is just a mess. Oh, some really pretty glass over there though. I wonder if that green glass is uranium glass. That'd be interesting. And then here is an oven. Very old oven. And then this is the back of the church. So this door right here that is completely blocked off would lead out back towards the cemetery. And then this is the only bathroom in the church. And as you can tell, it was definitely added on at a later point because the original end of the building is right there. So you can even see it's covering up a window. Now you may remember that I said to keep a door in mind because it was driving me crazy. Couldn't figure out where it went because it was locked and there was no doorknob. If you can see right up there, that is where that door originally went. So since that was the end of the church, that door would have led outside, but when they added this on to presumably add in the bathroom, that was blocked off. So this is the haunted historic church in Center, Indiana. Honestly, this place is really cool to check out. It is pretty cheap to check out too. And it's just a neat piece of history. And then also, I can't use it because it's very old and I'm afraid it will break. But the basement had a nice sliding door at one point. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of this historic church. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. I also spent the night ghost hunting here. And if you want to watch that video, please look out for it. It will be out soon. And once again, thank you guys for watching.